This evening, our leading story revolves around a $450 million lawsuit filed by former government minister Simone Brooms against social media figure Michael Rodrigues, known as the Guyanese critic, for defamation. Switching gears, another legal tussle unfolds as CEO of Queensway Group Incorporated files a $5 million lawsuit against social media commentator Kadiki Amsterdam. We'll explore the details of the lawsuits, the motivations behind them, and the potential impact on both individuals. In a dramatic turn of events at the Chedijagan International Airport, Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit officers thwarted a bold attempt to smuggle narcotics. We'll bring you the details of the interception, the suspects, and the ongoing investigation into this daring smuggling operation. Shifting our focus to regional development, Guyana and Suriname are set for infrastructural growth with a contract signed for the construction of a bridge across the Quarantine River. We'll discuss the significance of this bilateral project and its implications for both nations. And finally, farmers across Europe are taking to the streets in protest against EU agricultural policies. We'll explore the grievances of the farmers, the response from policymakers, and the broader implications for the agricultural landscape. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for February 27, 2024. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, former government minister Simone Brooms has filed a $450 million lawsuit against social media figure Michael Rodrigues, also known as the Guyanese critic, for defamation and libel. Brooms, a human rights activist represented by the Dexter Todd law firm, alleges that Rodrigues made defamatory statements against her during a Facebook morning program aired on his morning show, The Daybreak News, on January 22, 2024. Rodrigues accused Brooms of operating a brutal involvement in human trafficking, receiving a US $225,000 government scholarship, engaging in scams, and shutting down mining operations for personal gain. The former minister and her legal team refuted these claims and sought damages totaling $450 million. Additionally, Brooms' attorney seek an injunction to prevent Rodrigues from further defaming her and request the removal of the offensive program from the social media platforms, retraction of statements, and an apology from Rodrigues. The lawsuit addresses various aspects of Rodrigues' broadcast, and he has been served with court documents. Brooms, recognized for her humanitarian efforts, received an International Hero Award from the U.S. State Department in 2013 for her work in combating human trafficking. Brooms asserts that Rodrigues' allegations are false and malicious and have damaged her national and international reputation. In similar news, CEO of Queensway Group Incorporated Mohammed Arafat Quirlander has filed a $5 million lawsuit against Kadiki Amsterdam, a social media commentator and Working People Alliance's member, for alleged libel. Quirlander accuses Amsterdam of damaging his reputation by falsely claiming he owned a vessel involved in the Tobago oil spill and suggesting political ties. The lawsuit, filed by attorneys Sanjeev Dattardin and Khalif Gobin, seeks damages and injunction against further defamatory statements and the removal of offending social media posts. Quirlander, described as a businessman in the security sector, emphasized that the false accusations could harm his business and professional life. He stresses his compliance with the regulations and asserts his innocence of criminal activity. Moving on, Guyana and Suriname are anticipating significant infrastructural development with the construction of a bridge across the Quarantine River, signifying a robust bilateral relationship and promising economic growth. The forthcoming initiative was deliberated during the 46th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM at the National Cultural Center. Senior Minister in the Office of the President, Dr. Ashni Singh, emphasized the potential for enhanced business relations and easy cross-border trade, envisioning a future where Guyanese producers can readily export to Suriname and vice versa. Meanwhile, Suriname's President, Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, echoed this sentiment, expressing optimism about inaugurating the project alongside President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. The progress on the bridge, estimated to cost US $611 million and financed jointly by both governments, signals a promising future for trade, tourism, and economic activities between the two nations. Stick around when we return. Bold cocaine smuggling attempt thwarted at the Chedijagan International Airport, and the vendor faces firearm charges, remanded after Splashamani show arrest.
Experience more than award-winning speed.
Way more.
Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit officers at Chedijagan International Airport thwarted a cocaine smuggling attempt when two individuals were caught retrieving duffel bags over the airport's fence. Dale Travis has more details.
In a daring interception at Chedijagan International Airport, officers in the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit thwarted a bold attempt to smuggle cocaine on February 22, 2024. Two individuals were caught retrieving 4 duffel bags over the airport's fence, sparking suspicion. Upon inspection, the bags revealed 64 brick-like parcels suspected to be cocaine. Travis Seeley, 26, a shift leader at New Timmery Handling Service, and Kobe Barker, 20, a ground security coordinator at Secure Innovations and Concept, both from Timmery, were apprehended along with the contraband. Tests confirmed the substance as cocaine, weighing 71.2 kg, valued at Guyana $64 million. The cocaine was destined for a British Airways flight to St. Lucia en route to the United Kingdom. Had it reached its destination, the street value would have exceeded £3 million, or approximately Guyana $679 million. Investigations into the smuggling operation are currently underway. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jervis.
Thanks, Dale. Andrew Marks, a 27-year-old vendor residing on Jackson Street, Tocqueville, faced charges of possessing a firearm and ammunition without a license when he appeared at the Golden Grove Magistrates Court on Monday, February 26. Marks appeared before Senior Magistrate Sunil Skaras, where he pleaded not guilty and was remanded to prison. Mark's arrest occurred during a Splashamani show at the National Stadium in Providence on the east bank of the Marara, around 1:40 a.m. last Friday. Acting suspiciously, Marks attempted to evade the police by running in a southern direction and jumping over a nearby fence. After a pursuit, police apprehended him as he jumped into a nearby trench. A search revealed a 9mm pistol hidden in his pants, along with 1 magazine and 16 live matching rounds. The case has been adjourned to March 25, 2024. Don't go away after the break. Rising food prices spark protests and smuggling in Nigeria's growing crisis, and Senegal politics. President Sall holds negotiations to end crisis.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Farmers across Europe are taking to the streets to protest against EU agricultural policies. They are calling for minimum prices and an end to trade agreements while criticizing the common agricultural policies and the Green Deal.
European farmers vent their anger in Brussels. Around 900 tractors block entrances to the European Council building as EU agricultural ministers meet inside. For weeks, they've been protesting against policies they say stop them from making a decent living. The farmers say they want minimum prices set for their produce and a stop to trade agreements that allow in cheaper imports from outside Europe, such as the South American trade bloc Mercosur, where farms aren't restrained by the regulations they face.
What we want is a definitive end to the free trade agreement between the European Union and Mercosur, and we want prices that cover our production costs.
They also claim the agreements favour larger corporations and businesses that create most environmental damage, and the EU's Common Agriculture Policy, or CAP, needs to change.
This CAP that we have now has so many bureaucratic steps that we cannot manage to comply. We need an agricultural policy that truly adapts to the farmers' needs and allows for profitability.
And some complain that environmental policies, under what's being called a Green Deal, are hampering their ability to work. Some European ministers agree.
We need to implement the Green Deal in such a way that it becomes practical and less bureaucratic. That can be done. This Commission, unfortunately, has not done it well.
We need to reconcile farmers with their policy. The CAP, it's their policy. And without the CAP, there wouldn't be such a powerful agricultural sector in Europe.
In a concession to farmers, the European Commission scrapped a law to reduce pesticides. A target to leave land unfarmed to improve biodiversity has also gone. Many EU politicians agree that more changes have to be made to satisfy farmers. But it's not clear what they might be. Imogen Kimber, Al Jazeera.
Nigeria is on the brink of a food crisis as skyrocketing prices, exacerbated by smugglers, leaving millions struggling to afford basic necessities. The situation has prompted trade unions to call for protests against the government's handling of the crisis.
Ibrahim Abdul Hamid is shocked by what he sees when he visits the local market to shop for groceries.
What I buy last time in the past, maybe 500, now is 2,500. You can see it increased by over 500%.
Food prices are spiraling out of control, and the government is struggling to avert a hunger crisis in Africa's most populous country. Trade union leaders have called on Nigerians to hit the streets in 2 days of protests at the end of the month. The government says it's cracking down on companies suspected of hoarding food supplies to keep prices higher. Mohi Magajiri Mingado leads anti-corruption commission agents in Kano State to raid suspected warehouses.
We were able to identify a lot of places where they are holding the commodities, and based on our operations, we locate these shops or warehouses, and after locating the warehouses, we push or we mount pressure on the traders.
Nigeria's middle class has all but disappeared, and the poor are getting poorer.
Just a few months ago, the local currency lost around 100% of its value. That has eroded the purchasing power for almost everyone who is paid in Naira. Most concerning for Nigerians than any other item at the moment is a rising cost of food.
200 kilometers from Kano, officials in Sokoto on the border with Niger Republic says smugglers are making things worse.
Took most of the agricultural produce from Nigeria to Niger Republic so that they can sell it over there. And in return, they will come back in here with a safer and they will put it in exchange. They will make a lot of profit.
It's 7 years since Nigeria shut its land borders to food imports to boost domestic production. Since then, Nigerians have seen the prices of rice and other staples soar by more than 400%.
When things continue to be like this, without control, in the next 5 to 4 months, I don't know how Nigerians will survive.
Economists say the only way Nigeria can avert a major food crisis is to start addressing attacks by armed groups preventing people from going to their farms.
The government should open the border, but with certain control, that only what we needed can be brought in, and only what we have excess can be taken out of the country.
The raids on warehouses may provide some temporary relief for now, but economists say government leaders must target high inflation and interest rates, as well as investing more in the agriculture industry. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Kano, Nigeria.
Finally, opposition parties in Senegal are refusing to take part in talks aimed at establishing a new date for the presidential election. They say the proposed talks are a ploy by President Macky Sall to cling on to power. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports.
Senegalese epidemiologist Dr. Bousso sees a looming threat to his country. More dangerous than a virus, he believes people are losing their voice. President Sall cancelled this month's presidential elections, saying the electoral process was flawed. Bousso suspects it's a ploy to rob people of their right to vote. At this mock polling station, he's taking part in a protest vote, calling on Sall to set a new election date as soon as possible.
The situation in Senegal is very tricky, is very complex. Demonstration, deaths of young people. The economic situation is very difficult now, and having this election and choosing a new president can bring us a stable country.
The election was meant to bring a break from the past. After 12 years of Macky Sall, Senegal has become one of the world's fastest growing economies, thanks to the discovery of big reserves of oil and gas, which have helped fuel large infrastructure projects. But last year, a record number of young Senegalese attempted to illegally migrate to Europe to flee not war, but poverty. an issue that urgently needs to be addressed, says presidential hopeful former Prime Minister John.
Over 80% of our population is young. They don't recognize themselves in our democracy. We have to give them hope. It is possible to be born in Senegal, to grow up in Senegal, to make a living in Senegal, and to prosper in Senegal. That's the responsibility of the political class.
For now, the political class appears divided between those who want elections now and those who want to restart the electoral process from the beginning. Caught in the middle are the Senegalese people. They chant, "We want to move forward. We are conscious citizens. Our nation, Senegal, is worthy of respect."
This election is important not just for the Senegalese people, but for many across West Africa. It's the only country where there's always been a peaceful handover of power in a region marked by military coups.
After military takeovers in neighboring Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, Sall warns if politicians are not capable of getting along, other organized forces will do it instead. And then we'll lose everything, and the country too, he says. More than a warning but a threat for Bousso and others, it is a political crisis that can only be resolved by the vote of the people. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.